The signs are posted and the phones are ringing. How will you vote on issue 2?
Senate Bill 5 is going to be issue 2 on the November ballot this fall in Ohio.
The statewide veto referendum aims to block the controversial Senate Bill 5 from taking effect. Just months ago, the Ohio House and Senate passed the bill that substantially limits collective bargaining for the more than 300,000 public employees in the state. The bill outlines what public employees can and cannot do. Striking would be prohibited, benefits would change, and many subjects would be off the table for negotiation, like the number of employees required to be on duty or employed at a facility. For firefighters like Charles Adams, this is concerning. The minimum staffing level at his fire department is 4. If Senate Bill 5 were to take effect, this number would be out of his hands.
We spend a third of our life here. We know what it takes to put out fire. Instead of us dictating what that should be, or at least suggesting what it should be, we're having politicians that are there for 4 years at a time.
Opponents of Senate Bill 5 argue that this is a safety risk to the community.
It's really important that they be able to talk about how many firefighters they need on a fire truck when it rolls out of the station for an emergency.
If their house is on fire, how many people do they want to show up? Do they want 4 people, 6 people, 1 person? Possibly nobody, because that's their options.
Supporters of the bill say there's nothing to worry about.
We think that's fair, and we think that those leaders, those police commanders and fire chiefs ought to have the flexibility to determine the staffing levels that are best for their specific communities based on available resources.
Senate Bill 5 would also eliminate most salary schedules and steps and would instead require performance-based pay. For teachers, 50% of their evaluations would be measured by standardized test scores. The rest of the evaluation would be based on value-added measures determined by the school board.
We're asking the local communities, the school boards, the education leaders in each local community to work with the teachers to determine a formula for rewarding the best and brightest teachers that works best for them.
The merit-based pay system is a frightening concept for elementary school teacher Maureen Reedy.
You want teachers who can inspire, motivate, and engage their students. That's huge. How do you measure that? With the test score. How do you measure teachers who go out on the weekend and buy clothing for kids who come to school ill-clothed?
Reedy worries that her teaching style would be sacrificed with the new system.
If I'm coming into my classroom every day knowing that my pay scale and my salary is dependent upon test scores, I'm not going to spend as much time posing problems and dilemmas to students and encouraging them to research, work on teams, and collaborate towards digging deeper.
Other educators say they may choose to embrace the system.
I'm already competitive, so I think that there are times where I think I deserve merit pay now. I'm on lots of committees and I do things.
I am okay with performance-based pay as long as it's fair and there's a very clear criteria on what we, as an educator, what we have to do.
If Senate Bill 5 takes effect, union negotiations about classroom sizes would be prohibited and continuous contracts for teachers would end. It would also require all state employees to pay at least 15% towards their health care costs and 10% towards their pension. Bill supporters say this is all an effort to restore fairness between the public and private sectors and save money.
Simply by embracing these very reasonable reforms, we can generate millions of dollars in savings for a lot of local communities and keep these good police officers, teachers, and firefighters on the job.
Now, if this 304-page bill is not repealed, a report suggests that the state and local governments could save up to $1.3 billion. To opponents of Senate Bill 5, the potential savings are not worth the cost.
And even if there is a savings, we fundamentally disagree with balancing the local budgets on the backs of public employees.
Until November 8th, the debate will continue. Taylor Mirfendereski, WOUB News.